Well, hello there. Welcome to OBBM Live Special DFW Local Business. Today I'm talking with Your Voice Matters host, Rebecca Dollinger. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello.
Rebecca is also a world-renowned copywriter. So you may not have known this about Rebecca Dollinger, but she knows a thing or two about language and is a rather accomplished writer. And as we're talking today, and where we went before we even started this interview, is how important it is for our businesses that are going through the shelter-in-place orders and experiencing that pain to recognize how important it is to work on that language. We've got some time to think about the marketing language. If you have struggled with that, you may want to use the services of someone who does this professionally, because it's quite different than writing your own. And I know as a business owner, we all want to do our own, right? We're all the best. We're not the best writers of our own company. No, we're not. Sherry Voigt with 0 to 60 Marketing. When I was working with her, she taught me that early on. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of that yourself, Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me for my bio, and I go, I have like 1,700 of them, right? Because you write them for every occasion.
Right.
And it's really hard. I can make everybody else look fabulous.
Right.
But when you have to do your own, it's just, you don't get the right words. It doesn't flow right. So it's, that's a challenge.
It is. It's too much. It's too little. Right? Did I give them right? Did I give them enough? Did I have the right call to action? Do I sound too cocky? Do I sound too passive? Do I sound dynamic enough? Right? All that stuff. Geez, and you bring out a good point. It's not just the bio. That really is the way. That's the forward facing, the customer facing part of you.
Right. And also the audience, who are you speaking to, matters a whole lot. Whether you're speaking to an older group of women, or you're speaking to the younger generations, or it's like the American businesswomen, or you're talking to them because they're all business owners. So yeah, the audience plays a huge role.
We were talking earlier too about how when you do it for a living, the switching that voice from, if you're talking about insurance or technology, and then you've got to switch gears to cover, puppies and clothes and flowers. It is a challenge to go from one thing to the next. So, but at the same time, the fact that you do it actually makes you much better at recognizing some of the ways you want that sound to come through.
Right. Even the terminology that you use, and the words you use. I mean, you can get away with a lot in fashion or something, it's just that little bitty little anchors, the little things that you can get away with. But if you do it for business like that, oh no, that's like a no.
It would be a flair if it was fashion.
Yeah.
But you don't need any flair with technology.
No, not at all.
That's funny. So we were talking about how with Your Voice Matters podcast, I mean, you had just started with the OBBM network when we had our very first restriction, and we were about to shut down, and we were over at, was it Credit Union of Texas, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And the rain. It was great. It was a full day. We had training that morning because I train all the hosts at OBBM here, and we went through that training, and that was a lot, right? That was like 3 hours of pretty intensive training where we did role play and all of these things. But then we go right from that to interviews. And one of your very first interviews that day, because they couldn't get out, it wasn't safe at that time with COVID-19. That was Annette Walters. She had to interview you remotely. Geez, so you've been doing this remote thing since you started with us. You have yet to really experience all the fun of the studio opportunity.
I know. But luckily, my husband, he has like a super duper microphone. So anyway, you can always practice on that. We're always kind of like, so I kind of like that. But yeah, this is different. It's stretching yourself a little bit, and that's good. Learning new technology, new things. I mean, I've always been on Zoom, but not this much,
So seriously, let's talk about that a little bit. You've been on Zoom quite a bit because of the American Businesswomen's Association and the fact that you had conferences and you still did them.
Yes, and that is, I have to give a little kudos to the American Businesswomen's Association, because they only had 5 days to prepare for a regional conference. I mean, they had everything, and all their speakers lined up, everything, but they had to switch to like Zoom. I mean, usually we have these conferences, in person, and we had to make it feel like you were actually there in person.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a challenge, but it went off just fabulous.
It's not just a matter of hook up your Zoom link and go, right? Because you're right. You want to get that feel out there. How do you really pull that whole thing off? And I have yet to do it. I just watch them with awe, because I know that there are challenges involved just with this type of thing. Because now with the OBBM network, we record the audio track on these Zooms, and we still have to make sure, because we've got the departments, we disappear. I can take that that picture, send that over to marketing. They can remove me and Bill. So we are there for the executive direction, but we won't be there in the marketing images. The marketing images will be you and your guest.
Right.
And so there's all these little pieces that make that end result look really smooth, but it's really a lot of work putting it all together.
Yeah, it is. And he's absolutely fabulous at that.
Yeah, he's fabulous at it too. I was just thinking too, about American businesswomen. I mean, I know you gals really work hard to make sure that the finished product is stellar. And so I've known about you since Nanelle back in the early days there, and she started introducing me to the rest of you ladies, and you just do a fabulous job. So we were talking about how we can do a better job of making sure the marketplace knows where they can get their support.
Right. I mean, right now, the small businesses are hurting. Just, they're just dying out there. And I think this is a time that we have to rise to the challenge and support them. And I think it puts Your Voice Matters and OBBM Network just in a fabulous position to actually get the word out about a lot of these companies, because, like I know a lot of people that have like a small coffee shop, and well, you can't go in now. And they're bakers and stuff like that, but they have a drive-through window that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm. And so how can we help
even
them?
if they didn't? Yeah, right. How can we help these ladies and gentlemen? They're just, and I think because we're family orientated and small business orientated, we are the perfect ones to actually do this.
Fabulous. I think so too. I want to really point out a couple of things. I mean, a lot of them could be in serious danger, and they may think that they are and could be headed that way. That's true. However, when we knew before we ever started the OBBM network that the reason we exist is to get people using audio and video, because every business that's going to survive. We've got Alexa, we've got all the different ways people are searching today. They need to be able to find you, and they need to know your voice, right? You're only going to get a couple of opportunities to do that. The businesses that are engaging in audio and video are going to be the businesses that survive any struggle. So we have these great opportunities now to get those faces and those voices in front of the marketplace a little bit differently. And like you're saying, get in through different interviews. Your Voice Matters is specifically talking about finding ways that you do things differently, stepping into your strength, being able to use that as a leverage, right? And speak well. And I've noticed that the guests you have so far are doing such a fabulous job of that already. You had Nikki Nanos talking about just our confidence, and was that brilliant for anybody? I know it was it was geared towards women, but man, that was strong, right? Anybody could use those tips.
Right. And I think those are soft skills that most people don't think about, but in everyday business, those are to me, are some of the most important. Because soft skills, sometimes people don't look at those as, they look at the hard skills first. Do you have this, this, and this? But you can have all of that, and if you don't have soft skills, you're not going anywhere.
You're really not. You can't be, it's not relatable. And then the next gal that you had was Annette Walters. And Annette Walters is talking about how timely, and it seems strange. At first, I didn't really know how to position it. And the more I listened to it, the more I thought, it's really perfect because we don't know where we're going to be. She focuses relocation conversation on you're going to pick up and move. Here's how to do it productively so you can get on your feet quickly, know the community quickly, and get back to really doing a great job fast. But that's true today. We're all kind of relocating, aren't we? We're having to rebirth ourselves a little bit and work differently so that the community can find us.
But you know what I think is amazing? I have seen older women who normally don't like technology, and they're getting their voice out there because they haven't embraced it or they're of actually using it. And to me, this would have probably never happened unless they were forced into it. And I think it's a good thing. And sometimes, things kind of surprise us. Things happen and everybody goes, oh no, that's horrible. But if you can find the silver lining in it, it can be a great opportunity for everyone.
That's really wise there, Rebecca, and it's very
Well,
true. When you have your background in writing, as you and I do, finding those silver linings, that's what we're digging through everything we read to find, right? We're kind of trained to look for it in the written word, look for that shiny thing that we can use in a positive way. But today we're having to do it with like you said, technology, with our facial expressions, and with our voice, and how to do that better. And I agree. It's great that all the different generations are having to step into it and use it a little bit differently because we've got to be able to communicate more effectively.
And I think staying connected to people, I went old school. I went back to actually sending people cards and letters, just thinking about you, and telling them about, your voice matters and what, I'm up to, and just keeping those connections open. And I think for one, being isolated, it helps. Two, they know you're thinking about them and you actually have their best interests at heart. And if they own a small business or whatever, we're here to help them. We're here to actually get your voice out there when you can't. So I think this is a win-win situation for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. I just think it's hard to do it all. It's hard to get your voice out there and then manage the affairs of what you do have to do, right? You've got your existing client base and your existing work and the things that you do on a regular basis. And then, oh, by the way, everybody needs to see your face, right? And they need to hear your voice. And it seems like the demand for your attention can seem so overwhelming. How much easier just to come in and sit down and have a conversation with someone else that guides you through it.
I know, and I think that's what we're all missing right now because everybody's like stuck to their iPhones and their tablets and TV. And I think we just need to like put that on pause for a little bit and step away. I know it sounds kind of contradictory, but no, I think we need time for us because I need a lot of times people, you get up, you get caught in a rat race, and next thing you're just like, okay, where did the days go? And you never got anything productive done. So to me, just stepping away from those electronics for just a few minutes every day can clear your mind, and you can actually have those conversations with people. We do a lot of calling or a lot of zooming back and forth because I just want to see your face so I know what you look like and you're okay.
I'm so about that. It's my preferred. It always has been. If you're going to ask me how we're going to get together and do I want to have a phone call or do I want to have a Zoom, I'm going to tell you a Zoom hands down every time because I'd much rather see your face and see the passion in what it is that you do. That's good advice, is just to back off a little bit. It is one of the reasons I don't do a whole lot of the lives because our life happens and we don't want to have such okay, let me say it this way. If we don't practice thinking, everyone else is more than happy to do your thinking for you.
That's right. And then how many times do we actually go and Google something? When if we actually thought about it, we know the answer.
Right. And there's a whole lot. Well, you and I are we are book lovers. Look, I can see behind you, you've got your library, and this is only one of the bookshelves I've got in here. It's all about the books around here. It's funny. My husband and I, when we got married, we both had a set of encyclopedias, and we still use them. We break them out and show the kids because otherwise they wouldn't see them. But yes, there's information out there. There's actually information. And if you back away a little bit, you can learn how to process the information instead of just being a robot and listening to everything that you're being fed. And I think we owe it to our community. I think and one of the reasons that we do this is we want the marketplace to see you rising to the challenges of shelter in place, because it helps the marketplace it helps the confidence. Consumer confidence is huge when it comes to how fast our economies recover. So that is part of, they need to see us rising to this and not be afraid, oh, there's failure here. And business owners, I'm telling you, if you're struggling and if you feel like you're really having a hard time navigating this space, reach out to someone here at OBBM, reach out to Rebecca.
Nice.
And find out how you can just step into this space, have a conversation, and let somebody else take some of that load off of you, so you can do what you need to do and see yourself in a better light. Because it's all kinds of people are going to. It's really not a reflection of your character. If you got a little scared over all of this, it's pretty scary looking. That the people that survive are going to surround themselves with positive people and surround themselves with the positivity, because that's the only way you can recharge your batteries to keep going. Wouldn't you agree? I think you told me
That's
that, and I
absolutely
wrote
right.
notes down on that. Rebecca, you're all about people thinking through things like that.
Yeah, and that is true. Surrounding yourself with positive people. I don't know about you, but when somebody negatives gets into my ear, my closeness there, it's just like I just have to walk away, because they're draining all of your I don't know, your happiness away from you.
Your light,
so I
your
just have
energy,
to
yeah.
everything, and so I can't even imagine a person I have in my life that's negative right now, because I've just learned to just surround myself with positive people. And one thing about positive people, if you mess up, no matter what you're doing, they're so sweet. They say stuff, Rebecca, maybe you shouldn't have done it like that. Maybe here's a better solution. And you tend to listen to those people, because your voice really matters, but at the same time, so does your listening skills. And one of the things I really love is what we call active listening. Sometimes we don't actively listen. We go, and that's sort of like, okay, I've heard that before. But actively listen to a person, because what they say is important. Whether you think so at the time, I found there's always somebody comes back. If I'm in a situation, something comes back, and I said, oh yeah, she said this. And if I was actively listening, it gets stored. And I think that's a real positive thing, because most days and look at our country, most people don't listen. And we get ourselves.
It is, because everyone's voice matters.
Yeah, it does.
Right. And we don't know. We need each other. We need each other's voice. One of the reasons I insist on having a conversational approach to the interviews that we do. I want people to see two faces. I want them to see how people interact and throw ideas back and forth. And sometimes everybody agrees. Sometimes we don't.
No, but that's
what do you
okay.
do then? It is okay. And it is okay. As a matter of fact, it's so important that we actually convey that. How do you navigate a conversation when two people may not have the same opinion? If we don't ever show that, how is the community ever going to know how to get over that?
Right. And the thing is, everybody's voice and opinion is important, whether you think so or not. We have the freedom of speech, which I think is awesome, because I know even in my family, my siblings, some of us are so far apart in personality that we have different ideas on the same subject. So, these happen in family gatherings.
Right.
And you have to deal, And that's where you first learn to deal with different opinions, is at the
Can we do it?
grassroots right there.
Can we do it well? Right? Can we
Yeah.
do it well?
Yeah.
Rebecca, I think that is just a thrill. So I'm going to have the information for you to connect with Rebecca and Your Voice Matters accompanying this video. So tailored to you at RebeccaStyleWriter.com, because she is a fashion writer, among many other things. So reach out to Rebecca with your copywriting needs. Look at what it would do for you to have a professional look at the words that you're using about your own company, especially someone who knows how to find those silver linings, because it's never been more important to make sure that our best face forward is really helping the community be attracted to us so that they know. Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, folks, we've got some cool stuff coming up for the next episodes of Your Voice Matters, so keep posted. Those will be coming out shortly. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Thanks for talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.